Thank you for meeting with me. Your guys' movie it's so great. It's such a cute
Oh,
and inspiring film, which is what I hope you guys were hoping that viewers would take away from it. So,
thank you so
uh,
much. Yeah.
so to first start off, like, how did you two get even involved with this project?
Wow. So I was approached for the role of Sophia, and I read this script. Oh, I loved it. I was so moved by it. Then I did an audition, and actually I did it over like Zoom, before Zoom, you know, really took over. And yeah, I met Taylor over Zoom, and then they then after they told me I got the role, and that was then. And we were actually supposed to film at, I think, like earlier, but then it got moved, of course, because it was 2020, and then we ended up filming later. But it was also so great, and just such a sweet experience for me.
Yeah, it was fun. I had a similar enough process. There was a handful of us who were, I think, choices that the producers or directors knew of, and they had us in to meet with the director. And then from there, they had us do a soccer test. So we played soccer. I think there was maybe two or three of us. We went down to a field with some coordinators and FIFA referees, I believe, and we played soccer basically for the role for a couple hours. And then once that happened, we started doing Zoom meetings and rehearsals. And then next thing you know, we were in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And Taylor, because you mentioned obviously your player plays a lot of soccer in this film. How is that? Had you played before? Or was it,
Yeah,
when I was a kid?
yeah, it was cool. So I grew up playing fairly competitively, which was nice. And weirdly, I did another sports movie, a basketball movie, and for that, it was the same thing. It was a lot of like we played basketball for the role. So on my way to the last sort of soccer test, I was feeling pretty confident because I had taken like 2 weeks before we had done that to like get back out on a field and play and just get my touch back. And so once we were out there, I felt it's nice to like put the acting aside for a bit, you know what I mean, and get into the sport of it. And they had to do that because of how much soccer was actually going to be in the film. I think we shot 3 weeks straight of soccer out in Atlanta, and so I felt really comfortable out there. And I really hope that translates, just because I know for myself watching sports movies, you can always tell when it feels like it's being faked. And none of it was faked. We never we brought in ex pros and college players, and we drew up plays, and then basically filmed us going against each other. So I hope it comes through. And for the real like soccer fans and diehards out there, I hope they can see that in there.
Yeah.
Well, as a diehard soccer fan, like you played competitively up until college. I was just about to ask you, I was like, I think this is the first time I've watched a sports film where it actually is coming across that not only the extras know how to play, but the actors themselves know how to play. So that's why you basically answered my question. So there was a bit more comfortability for you in this role because you had played before. And obviously you just said the extras and all that had played before. So were those some of your favorite scenes, just being able to like kick the ball around?
Absolutely. It was funny because the director, producers, they all want to keep you safe, and they kept getting mad at me because in between takes, I'd be like, when else am I going to play with like ex pros or like college level? Or there's some people that were on like junior teams. And I was like, I want to go up against them. And I'm also a fairly competitive person. So I would be like, all right, let's see
Yeah.
who can hit the crossbar from 30 yards out, or you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so it was fun because, I mean, you said you played soccer. Once you get that touchback, everything is familiar again and comfortable. And so I just had a blast out there. And I feel like I even got a little bit better just because you're playing with those type of people. But at the same time, you do have to stay within the bounds of what, like when there's slide tackles, those were the funniest scenes because they were very wary.
Yeah, you got to be super careful with those.
Yeah.
And Allie, for you, since this really is your first step into kind of the acting world, I know you've touched upon it here and there, but this is your first solo experience in it. How is it for you? I know you said you were inspired and stuff. Where did you find any nerves? Did the cast help you feel really comfortable? I mean, did you get advice beforehand?
Oh yeah. I got, oh, I felt nerves. I felt nerves, but excitement And I mean, Taylor was there for me, and we had I remember we had met like a few days before filming, and him, the director, and I, and I was so excited, and they put me at ease, and I knew when I met them, I'm like, okay, like I have like the sweetest people, and it was the sweetest experience for me. And I love that they were there to really be there for me and guide me.
And also your character obviously we hear her sing throughout, the film and stuff. So did you have did you collaborate anything on those songs, or were they already pre-prepped for you?
I didn't. So the writer, producer, he wrote the songs, and he wrote High Expectations.
Mhm.
And when I heard it, I loved it. And it really kind of really felt like I wrote it. It really did. And being there singing as Sophia was, it was such a treat.
And then for both of you, what do you think was the easiest scene for you guys to film, and what was the hardest scene for you guys to film?
The easiest?
Mhm.
What do you?
Like what
No,
came?
yeah, I can jump in. And so there's definitely like there's some emotional beats. I have a scene with Kelsey that Kelsey Grammer, and he is such a great actor, but the relationship between his father and him is definitely strained. And there's a scene in the locker room mid game at halftime that it gets fairly emotional, and also one at their house that you just have to go into the well of it. But working opposite of Kelsey, it was easier to access those emotions as he was in it as well. And then also playing soccer, like I don't know which side to put that into, easy or hard, because it was so much fun, which made it easier to get out there. But also people forget, I think, that you have to do like 10 takes, sometimes 12 takes. And so some of the players, we would do 2 takes and like, okay, we got it. And they'd be like, oh no, we have to do this a handful more times. And you're like sprinting up and down the field. And so I think all of us together learned how to save our energy and realize when we were being featured on camera and when we weren't, because people would just have their hands on their knees at certain times.
And I guess, Allie, what scenes to you felt the most natural? Like you felt like you had to do no prep for them. You just went in, you're like, I got this, I nailed it.
I think when we were at that Italian spot, that was so much fun. And that was pretty effortless, I think, for us. And then the toughest one, I can't say exactly what it was, but it was when we were outside. I think Taylor knows that was, but then I got it and it was like that.
And then for both of you, because
by the way,
thank you so much.
Throughout the entire film, you see Sophia, who's always kind of telling Jack to reach for his highest, like get to that highest expectations, exceed that highest expectation. For both of you, who is that person in your life who is constantly telling you you can be more than you are, reach for your dreams, like surpass your dreams?
I'm gonna tear up. There's one person. I would say I get kind of I'm just gonna say there's one person, but yeah.
That's sweet. Yeah, I feel like I'm so fortunate to have many people in my life like that. My parents couldn't be any more supportive. My brother, but also I have some amazing friends that we kind of do that for each other. We can feel when someone else needs that little bit of encouragement or that push, and likewise they're empathetic people. They can feel when I need it, and they're always there to sort of, whether it's say something, do something, or just be there with you. And it's so important to have that in your life, and I think we're both fortunate to have that.
Oh yeah, there's so many people from fam to friends to people around me.
And then for my last question for you guys, what is your hope that the audience takes away after they viewed your film?
Inspiration.
Yeah, I hope they all go tell their dads to screw themselves. No, I'm kidding. I had to say stuff. No, it's inspiration. I hope. There's so many movies when I was younger that I would watch that coming out of it, I was just pumped up to like get out on a basketball court or get on a soccer field, whatever it might be, or just go write down my list of goals for the next week. And I hope that people coming out of this film feel the same way.
Yeah, because that's what it's about. That's what our movie's about. And you know, I know we're so thankful to have been in it.
Well, thank you guys once again. You guys said it the best word is that this film is very inspiring. And it does afterwards, like you said, Taylor, I very much was like, I'm ready to go kick the soccer ball around. Let's go do this. So thank you guys again for speaking with me. And I can't wait for people to see the film.